I want to get into a little bit on the college planning program. And Angela, I don't know if you want me to just kind of stop and just maybe take any questions in regards to that, or if you'd like me to continue on. Okay. One thing I wanted to mention to all of you that we have coming up here.
Patrick, I'm sorry. Take the questions at the end, just so way you can finish, and then we can go back. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yep. Okay. So one thing I want to tell you guys is that the Institute also has a continuing education program. Okay. For HR managers. All HR managers, well, I shouldn't say all HR managers, but many HR professionals carry different designations, and they are required to have continuing education done every 3 years, okay? And HR managers generally have to pay for these credits on their own, and they can range from $20 to over $100 per credit. And so myself and a few others became certified instructors to provide these HR classes. And our next one that's coming up is going to be in our office in Oak Brook on May 10th, okay, from 11 to 2:30 p.m. Okay, we will provide lunch for the HR managers. Okay, and here's the topics of discussion. First thing is your company compliant with ERISA law? Do you understand what your requirements are? So the first hour or so is going to be all about ERISA, what they need to know, and what they can do to protect themselves with ERISA, okay? The second part of the class is we're gonna get into what an actual brown bag class would look like. So that HR manager will really experience what it is that we teach in those classes, okay? And with this, they will get 3 general credits for HRCI and SHRM. Everybody in the HR world knows this, okay? So all of you are welcome to invite your HR professional to this. Now, I've sent this flyer out to all the managers, so if you want to present this to your HR manager and say, hey, listen, you know what? A firm that I'm affiliated with has a relationship with this nonprofit. You're an HR manager, and I'll go over this again at the end here, but here's a flyer if you have an interest. Here's the person you need to contact. And we also have a link for Eventbrite, which is an app where they can go on and register directly, and all the managers have that. So if you have an interest in that, just reach out to your manager, and they will be able to provide that link for you that you can pass on to your HR manager or anybody that you know in the HR world that needs some CE credits. Now, we do provide this once a quarter, so I know you're just learning about this right now. We'll do another one probably towards August, closer to when school starts. That'll be our next HR class or CE class. And so this is a great way for HR managers to come in. They get their CE credits, which they need anyway, but then they also get to learn about the Heartland story and how we can protect them. And generally what this leads to is us going to their company and teaching class. And that's where our relationship begins, okay? Let's move on to the CPP program. And I'll talk to you a little bit about this. Let's see here. So the Heartland Institute also has a college planning program, okay? And this is great. If you're brand new in the company, in our company, and you don't have that 3 years experience yet, and you can't be an instructor yet, just so you know, you can leverage the classes that I just talked about by introducing an instructor to your company or to a company. And if business comes from it and you're properly licensed, you will share in that revenue. So it's a way for you to you still can participate in it. And when you're working on your share list, this is, you don't want to just think about the people that you know, but also think about the people that you know and where they work. Because every company now that you drive by, or every person that you know that works for a company, is a potential candidate for one of our classes. And then once you get into a company, that can be endless referrals and endless leads. At the end of the day, it's about where you're getting your contacts and how many you're putting into your pipeline. And if you're getting a company once a quarter, you'll never run out of stuff to do. Trust me, you will be more than busy. Okay, but the Heartland College Planning Program, you don't need any experience whatsoever to become a consultant with them. And really what you're doing is you're facilitating that relationship between that family and the institute. So I'll explain a little bit about this, but as many of you know, college and the cost of college is quite expensive, and it can be quite nerve-wracking to go through the process of learning what schools are right for your children or for your friends' children. And most people don't have any direction. It's one of the biggest investments people have in their lives, and they don't get any guidance. When you have legal issues, you tend to call a lawyer. When you have tax issues, you call an accountant or a CPA. And when you have medical issues, you go to the doctor. You just don't rely online or WebMD to fix your issues. Okay? But when it comes to college, most people just try to wing it, and they don't realize that they could be missing out on a lot of funding or a lot of money, or they can end up wasting a lot of time. In fact, my niece, just talked to her. She just moved to Vietnam or Thailand. Sorry. I remember when she went to school, she's like, I got to get out of here. And so she went to Colorado, and her parents spent $40,000 to figure out that she didn't want to go there. She came back the following year. So we try to avoid that. And so the Heartland has this program where we have a team of coaches who have between 20 and 25 years of combined experience working in higher education programs. And they understand what it takes to get kids into school, what colleges are looking for. And so when a family has an interest in the program, the Institute will evaluate the applications, and they'll put the right coach with the right student, and they'll work with that family all through high school in assisting them with the educational planning, funding, and the admissions process. Okay? And so here's the three main areas that they help in. They help with assessing a student's aptitudes and interests and determine their career path, right? And they do that through some software, which is pretty cool. They take them through some tests to figure out what kind of interests they have. I can't tell you how many people I meet or have met in the past, and they're in school, and what are you going to school for? Well, communications. What do you want to do with it? I have no clue. I don't know. And so that's a problem. They also work with planning, selection, the application process to designate the best university or college for that student. Okay. They also search for grants and scholarships that are available for the students to apply for based on their qualifications. Right? If my student got an 18 on their ACT, they shouldn't be wasting their time applying for University of Chicago. Okay, I know it's kind of an extreme example, but this is what they help with. Okay, and we work with students as early as second semester, 8th grade, all through college. Okay, here's some of the results of the program. 2017 to 2018, resulting with only 150 students reporting. Number of essays reviewed, that's the biggest thing, is filling out those essays. They reviewed over 2,300 essays. Number of different school students were accepted, over 225. Financial aid received over 15 million. Additional aid received due through a reevaluation letter. So I don't know if you know this, but you can negotiate with schools, and that's what they help kids do. So another 184,000. Here's some of the schools they help kids get full rides into. Okay, so they have some pretty strong results here. Okay, and the coaches all work as a team to help each other out with each and every student. There's a website here that I want to bring up if I can find it here. Yep. So this is called wfgagents.org. Okay. So you may want to write this site down, and this is the site to get started with the program. You technically can go on here right now and get started tonight. The cost of the program is a one-time $95 fee. Okay. And that'll allow you to refer students to the program. Any students that get started with the program, you You make money off of that. Okay, I think the cost of the program right now is about $2,600. And Mike, if you want to clarify that, because you're one of the experts in this area, I think a new associate will make somewhere between $400 to $600 on that.
Yeah, it's $26.95, Pat.
$26.95. Okay, and what does the agent make on it for referring in a family?
Just under $500.
Just under $500. Okay, so it's a $26.95 for the first year, and then if they stay in the program, is it $300 a year?
No, it went up to $500.
$500 a year. Okay. But even if you spent a total of $5,000 to $6,000, it's still a lot less than a lot of the programs that are out there today for what you get. Okay, so talk a little bit about the benefits for the consultant. Okay, any enrollment in the college planning program counts towards points with WFG. Represents that you now are able to represent a nonprofit organization with you'll be able to carry the Heartland business card that says nonprofit on there. Entry way to finding new clients, gain trust and credibility with prospects and clients. A unique approach that allows for prospects and clients to ask for financial guidance, and a proven approach that will stop leaving assets on the table. Okay, so I would just recommend getting on the site and combing through this, and then you can get started right here and start the registration and just get started with it. Now, what I have done in the past with several of my partners is that we would host a class either at their home or a library. And what we would do is we would say, listen, this is a great way to maybe introduce your family and friends to what you're doing now, and why don't you do it through the college planning program? Okay, so what I want to put up on the screen here is some of the invites that we have used to invite to something like this. Okay. All right, so this is something that we used not too long ago, and here's the email that the new representative sent out. It says, "Dear friends, hope you're enjoying your beautiful fall colors. Just keep our fingers crossed that the winter is not as brutal as last one." Well, we found out it was. A friend of mine has recently developed an affiliation with a nonprofit organization called the Heartland Institute. Or you can say, I have recently developed an affiliation with a nonprofit organization called the Heartland Institute of Financial Education. Their mission is to promote financial literacy throughout the U.S. They primarily teach at corporations and other nonprofit organizations. As some of us expressed interest, especially in learning about college planning, we were fortunate enough to have one of their instructors who is also a certified financial educator with the Institute to provide a non-solicited class at my home. The class will be about building a financial foundation in college planning. You and your family are able to attend. And so it just goes on here with the time, etc. But this was a really simple email that one of my colleagues sent out. And they had about 12 people that showed up for the class. And again, we just taught college planning, college funding options, and then we did some financial foundation training and education on that. We didn't promote any companies. We didn't promote any products or anything like that. Everyone that attended the seminar or the class, the workshop, filled out an evaluation form. They either told us they were interested in talking with us further or they didn't. We weren't there to press them afterwards to do anything with us whatsoever. We were just there to provide the education. We have found that if you just go out there and you're genuine about the education and you don't have an agenda behind it, you will get people to meet with you. And it'll lead to business for you. It will lead to very strong relationships, not only on the client end, but also maybe partner. Maybe you're going to run into somebody who wants to do this on a part-time basis as well. So this is a very, very simple invite that all the trainers have. And if they don't, they can just reach out to me. I'll send this to them. And you don't have to use the same exact one, but you can use this language here and set up a class. And maybe do it at your local library, or if you want to do it at your home. 5 to 10 people is more than enough to get something started with this. All right. Here's another one that we have. Are you aware that college loan debt has recently surpassed credit card debt in the U.S.? Most families have no game plan on how they are going to fund their children's college education. You're cordially invited to attend an informal session by the Heartland Institute of Financial Education's College Planning Program. The Institute is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote financial literacy across America, and it begins with their HIFA College Planning Program. The average amount of scholarships and grants and savings received by each high school senior that is enrolled in the Heartland College Planning Program is about $38,000 compared to $2,523. I like this. You can use this to invite somebody to your home, to a neutral location, a library, or whatever. But you can also use this to invite to our office. Michael Rayford, who's on this call, hosts college planning classes. I don't know how often, Mike, is it every 3 weeks or every 2 weeks that you do it at the office? But this could be a simple invite that you could invite to the office so they can see the overview on the college planning program. Okay.
It's twice a month. The next one is May 11th.
May 11th. Okay. All right. So the next one is May 11th. So it's the day after our CE class. So maybe you want to use something like this just to send out to the people that you know that have kids that are in 8th grade, 7th grade. Maybe they're in 5th grade. Maybe you want to get them starting to think about it now. Or maybe they're in high school. But this is something that you can easily invite them, and it takes you 5 minutes. And what I would do is use our campaign manager. And by the way, once you become affiliated with the Heartland Institute, you can create a Heartland profile on Campaign Manager with your Heartland email and send this out. And get some people interested in this. And you never know what it's going to lead to. There's endless stories about great things that have come from this college planning program. The last thing I want to talk about on the Heartland Institute is that you can also become an education coordinator. You don't need the 3 years experience to do this, but you can help facilitate an instructor and help them out with the classes by helping them set up the classes, helping them with the classes themselves as far as with the follow-up. But this is a great junior position to learn how the instructor works. You'll be able to sit in all the classes and watch the instructor, see how they teach, see how they answer questions. Also be able to meet with the individuals one-on-one with the instructor to see how they conduct those one-on-one sessions. I can't tell you, that is probably some of the best training right there, is that hands-on training with each one of those individuals that come from the class with questions about their own finances. And I will tell you, you'll get everything from estate planning questions to emergency fund questions to tax planning questions to stocks, bonds, 401ks, everything. You're going to see it all. So that's a great program or great way for you to lead into becoming an instructor down the road. So I've talked about a lot of different things here. The thing you can do right away is become a certified college consultant with the Institute. Costs you $95. There's a test that you have to take. There's study material on that website. You'll be able to get a business card that says Heartland Institute. You'll be able to get that email address that says Heartland Institute as well. And Angela's putting up here, here's some of the local companies that we have taught at. You can see Siemens Corp here, Federal Reserve Bank, Northern Illinois, Cars.com, UPS, Comcast, Hendrickson, Lake Forest College, etc. Advocate Good Sam. And I'll tell you, most of these organizations that you see on your screen here, we have not just taught one class at these organizations. We've taught multiple classes at these organizations. Is because of the way that we conduct our business, and they love it. And so, listen, this is just another way for you to market yourself out there. It may not be for everybody, but it may be for a lot of you. And I would highly encourage you to partner up with an experienced individual who has some experience either on the college planning side or on the teaching side within the companies. And maybe take them to lunch or just have a phone call with them or get coffee and learn about how they do it. And you can start molding it how you want to do it. Okay? But there's plenty of tools for you, tons of resources here for you to get this up and running. So with that being said, I'll take any questions that you may have. There's a lot that I didn't get into, but for the essence of time, I just figured cover this with a 30,000-foot view here.
Are there any questions that anybody wants to ask Patrick? We will make the materials available that you saw tonight They'll be on our group me site. We'll pass those on so you can have them. But does anyone have any questions before? I did want to have one person make a comment who's had a lot of success with this. Is Shantae Moore out there?
Hey, Angelo, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you just share just a minute on some of your experiences? And while she's doing that, if there is someone who has a question, hit us up through the chat feature so that we know you have a question. And if you don't, that's okay. But if you have one, hit us through the chat feature and go on, Shantae.
Yes. Hi, good evening, everyone. My name is Shantae Moore. I am one of the local certified financial educators on the team as well here in the Chicagoland area. Couple of things I wanted to share. And great job, Pat. I've learned so much from him. We've taught classes together, him, Angelo, and I, and it's just a great opportunity to work with those guys. But from my perspective, Heartland for me really gave me opportunity to change my business. So for those of you who are out there, maybe you're a little newer, the getting into companies and working with HR people is definitely a great way to generate business and just to, just really create a whole new market for yourself. But sometimes even that might seem a little intimidating. So for me, the way that I really used Heartland was, number one, to get into a better market, because for anyone who knows me, growing up on the south side of Chicago as a young minority woman, I didn't come from a family who had money or known individuals who had money. So I really took this business. I had to find out a way, how can I improve my market? How can I meet new people that will be great clients that I can work with? So becoming certified as a college planning consultant first, I would use Heartland and that reputation of a national nonprofit to reach out to churches, to schools, to small nonprofit organizations to say, hey, I'm affiliated with this national nonprofit. Me personally, I teach about college planning, but I work with a network of certified financial educators who teach on all topics of personal finance. Can we come into the church and share with your congregation some of these financial topics? I would reach out to schools and the principals and administrators and say, you know what, you have a report card pickup coming up. I'm affiliated with this national nonprofit. Can I just have a table in your hallway just to share with parents about our college planning program and some of the workshops that we do here in the Chicagoland area? I would also, go to, like Pat mentioned, go to your local library. You can actually rent and book rooms for free. And if you're certified as a college consultant, you could go in and, put on a college planning workshop. You could work with another certified financial educator. And another thing that I did a lot of was I would just hold, I would get vendor tables at different events, at community events. So, or if there's a job fair, or if there was some type of, a winter special or a harvest event for a community, and I would reach out to the organizers and say, hey, I'm with this nonprofit, we promote financial literacy. Can I have a table at this event so that I can share some of the good works that we do here in the community? And having that nonprofit behind you, it was very easy to get into these organizations, to set up those type of workshops, to build those relationships, because they thought, oh, it's a nonprofit, they teach financial literacy, there's no harm, there's no selling. So for me, literally for a year or two, I would just do these random events and build relationships. And I, along the way, met people and collected email addresses to where I increased my contacts to literally hundreds of new people who wanted to hear my message, who wanted to learn more about Heartland. And obviously, a lot of those individuals turned into clients for me. So I didn't want to take up too much time, but I just wanted to share that, you could definitely think outside the box with Heartland. Don't think that you have to be a certified financial educator to utilize this platform. You definitely don't. There's so many unique and creative ways that you could take that nonprofit status and really use it to build your business and to get in front of new people. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you, Angelo.
Hello?
Now we can hear you, Angelo.
So I was just talking to myself. Okay. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Shantae. Patrick, do you have anything to add?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have a question, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would like to, we recently had a company come over to our company, and we just switched over health insurance, and it didn't quite turn out as well. And I would really like to introduce Heartland, and I just really want to know how to come about it with my HR.
All right, I'll let Patrick handle that, and I'll let him close out. That's a great question to close out with.
Yeah, so I think the first thing is that you work for the company, correct? Can you hear me?
Yeah, he does. He does.
So the first thing is that, I would probably recommend not stating that you have an affiliation with the Institute, because the company is looking at you as an employee of them. I would simply say, listen, I know of a nonprofit organization that provides financial education for companies. I maybe if you want to say I attended one of their classes, I thought there was a lot of value. They're a nonprofit organization. I would love, if it's okay, I'd like to introduce you to them. Is it okay if I have one of their coordinators or instructors reach out to you to see if our company would be a good fit? Because we may not be a good fit for your company, but I would simply pass it over to a coordinator or to an instructor and ask them, is it okay if I have them reach out to you? And so then you provide the instructor or coordinator with the name and the email address or phone number, and maybe let that HR manager know this person, say Todd Kemp, one of the instructors with the Institute, will reach out to you to explain a little bit more of the program and see if their organization is a good fit for our company.
Awesome, Patrick. Thank you. And I think the main thing with this is that, you don't have to know how to explain it. Your main job is, somebody that has access to the information, and you can't promise them anything. Just get a few minutes with either the owner of the company, get a few minutes with the HR person. When we first went to Comcast, we spent about 15 minutes in the appointment, and they already loved it. And, a lot of you have heard that story. We've done a lot of locations and a lot of programs for them. And it simply started with a 15-minute meeting, just explaining the basics of the program. And it really is no longer than the time that Patrick took tonight just to explain simply how it works. It makes a lot of sense. It's at the forefront of people's minds right now. They're thinking a lot about it. I mean, when you think about college planning, just earlier today, you keep hearing about all these crazy Hollywood people who went out and, tried to bribe their kids to get into the schools, right? That's like such a big story right now in the media all the time. You'll see that parents will do anything to get their children into college. It's the most important thing to them. And some people would bend the rules, right? And so for the rest of us, yes, there's sometimes some fees involved and some different things and programs, but it's an unbelievable program what you can enroll in, whether it's college planning, whether it's a financial education program for your company. We really bring a lot to the table for the individual companies and for individual families through this program. So I'm excited about it. We're going to continue to build on this conversation. Pat, did you have anything else you want to say before we end on your section?
We just got to add K5 construction to this list.
All right.
But no,
there's a lot we haven't added. That's just one.
But listen, guys, one of the best ways, or I think one of the better ways to get the word out is leverage our CE class. So Miguel, you had mentioned you'd like to bring it up to your director. A great way is also have the instructor invite her to our CE class so they can get a full education on who the Institute is. They'll not only get the credits if they need it, they can also network with other HR managers, but it's a great way for them to learn our story. And so what I would suggest is everybody on this call, just pay attention to the group meet when we have CE events coming up, and just start building a list of people that you want to invite to for that. You never know. I'm telling you, one company could change your life. You could be busy for a whole year with that. You could really accelerate your career with us with that because of all the training that you would receive. I'm telling you, the only difference between myself and the SMDs and you as a new person is the amount of appointments we've done. And the more appointments you can do faster or be a part of, the faster you're going to learn this thing.
Great advice from one of our best. Thank you so much for your time tonight, Patrick.